The biggest trade of the 2023-2024 offseason just happened, and I put that in air quotes because it's not like we're talking about any superstars or anything like that, but we do have a trade to discuss. And also, the GM of the Padres has officially come out and spoke on Juan Soto's future, and to be honest with you, it sounds like they're willing to trade him for the right price. Before we break it down, I'm going to ask for a small favor. I never do this, but could you guys hit that subscribe button? We are getting so close to 500,000 subscribers. Let's see how many we can get in one day. Now, without further ado, let's talk about the biggest trade of the offseason so far. So according to Jeff Passan, the Diamondbacks, they have found a brand new third baseman. The Evan Longoria experiment is officially over. They have traded for the Mariners third baseman Eugenio Suarez, and in return, the Mariners are getting a reliever, Carlos Vargas, and catcher Seby Zavala. So if we take a look at Eugenio Suarez first, he was actually pretty solid the last few seasons for the Mariners. He had 22 home runs and a 101 OPS plus for the Mariners last year, which is not the best, but defensively, he was pretty good. If we take a look at his baseball savant, he was top 3% in outs above average. He turned in an 11 outs above average season. That is really good. And also, since 2016, if we take a look at the most home runs hit since that period, he's tied with Michael Nelson Trout with 229 home runs, also tied with Mookie Betts. Go figure. All that really means is I'm not putting him in the same conversation as Mookie Betts or Mike Trout, but in order to hit that many home runs, you have to, one, have power, and two, you got to stay relatively healthy, and Eugenio Suarez, he does both of those pretty well. In 2018, his lone all-star season, Eugenio Suarez had 34 home runs while hitting 283. He had a 136 OPS plus. The next season, he was top 15 in MVP because he swatted 49 home runs while hitting 271. That's very impressive. Now, the sad part is over the next two seasons from 2020 to 2021, he was pretty terrible. He turned in a combined 199 batting average and an 87 OPS plus. So the Reds, they decided to cut the cord. They threw in Eugenio Suarez with the Jesse Winker trade, and I mean, come to find out, Jesse Winker stunk as a Mariner, and Suarez, he became a fan favorite. So again, the Diamondbacks, they're replacing Evan Longoria with a massive power threat who plays really good defense. And we'll talk about Evan Longoria in just a second because he could be a Hall of Famer, but is his career over? We'll talk about it. The players going back to the Mariners, we have backup catcher Seby Zavala, who in 4 seasons has 14 home runs. And what's crazy about that, 3 of them came in one single game. So he has absolutely no pop aside from that 3 home run game. It was really crazy. Obviously, Seby is not very impressive in the box. Last year, he hit 171 with a 544 OPS, but he's really good at blocking and he's pretty good at framing pitches. But on the flip side, in the new environment of everyone stealing bases, he is one of the worst catchers in baseball at pop time and throwing guys out. So he's definitely going to be a backup guy. The Mariners are also getting a project. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. Carlos Vargas, he's 6'4". He has a live arm, and the thing about the Mariners that they really like about this guy is that in the minors, he had a sick ground ball percentage. In 2022, when he was a member of the Guardian system, he had a 60.3 ground ball percentage in AA, and then a 65 ground ball percentage in AAA, so he likes to keep the ball on the ground, and when he's not doing that, he's striking dudes out. But like any up-and-coming reliever who has a live arm, he walks a lot of guys, so keep that in mind. He's not like Blake Snell, where Blake Snell, he can walk everyone because he's going to turn double plays or strike you out. Carlos Vargas has the potential to do that, but as of right now, when he does allow walks, he usually allows them to score, so that's not really good. So on paper, you have Eugenio Suarez going to the Diamondbacks in exchange for Seby Zavala, a backup catcher, and Carlos Vargas, who was decent at best in his first stint with the Diamondbacks. So on paper, it kind of seems like the Mariners got robbed, but let me break it down because it's not that simple. If you take a look at Eugenio Suarez's contract going into 2024, he's going to be making about $11 million. So the Mariners, they're willing to move on and save that cap space in an effort to try and grab one of these guys. Now, before we talk about those free agents, I do want to talk about the future of Evan Longoria. I mean, the dude is borderline Hall of Fame worthy. He almost has a 60 WAR. If he plays one more season and gets 70 base hits, he's going to get 2,000 base hits. He has a career 119 OPS plus, so one of the best defenders at third base we've ever seen. Might have 2,000 plus base hits, over 350 home runs. I mean, at that point, I think he makes it, but it's going to be really tough, especially if no one picks him up and gives him another chance. I mean, he's going to be 38 years old, so he's an old man. And also, we are going to talk about the GM of the Padres talking about Juan Soto's future, but let's go ahead and talk about what the Mariners are going to be planning to do to fill that void at third base. They could do it with Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman, he was one of the best players in baseball to begin the season, but down the stretch, he was one of the worst players in baseball, at least offensively. You have Matt Chapman as an option, Jeimer Candelario, who was ultra impressive after being pretty bad in 2022. Donnie Barrels, Donovan Solano, Justin Turner. In my opinion, I really feel like the Mariners are going to really put Matt Chapman in their crosshairs, or Jeimer Candelario, who is a switch hitting, really good defender at third base. Maybe they go cheap and they avoid Matt Chapman at all costs because he is way too streaky. Jeimer Candelario at the hot corner with the Mariners, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. So what do you guys make of this trade? In a nutshell, it was Eugenio Suarez for Carlos Vargas, a potential budding star as a reliever who definitely has a walk issue, and they also got a backup catcher in Seby Zavala. But these two guys, they're kind of throw-ins in an effort to get money off the books for the Mariners, and they're saving $11 million-ish. What do you guys make of this? Again, Eugenio Suarez, he is a lock to play 150 games. He's a lock to hit 20 or more home runs and play pretty solid defense at third base. So is it worth saving $11 million? I don't know. The GM of the Mariners, Jerry Dipoto, is one of those wait until you see what I do next kind of people. Like after he traded Kendall Graveman to the Astros and then he got Diego Castillo, I guess that was kind of, see, I told you I wasn't done yet. He's probably not done yet. And I don't know what's going to happen. Talking about Juan Soto's future with the Padres, because it starts off nice, like he wants Juan Soto in the lineup, but then at the very end, it kind of takes a turn.
Think that Juan Soto will be here next year, and do you expect him to be part of your plans for upcoming season?
Juan Soto's, a player like that's always in your plans. I think obviously that's, the offseason will, we'll get to the next couple of weeks and, continue conversations with Scott, Juan, and kind of get a sense of where he's at for, what it means down the road for San Diego in terms of a contract. And then also, we understand the value of Juan playing for us, next year on a contract year. So having his bat in the lineup is important. I think at the end of the day, you're always from an offseason standpoint, you'll listen and we'll listen, but we think our position player team is very strong. We'd like to keep that position player team together. We also understand we've got to go out and add some pitching to the group that we currently have. So I think that's what the next few weeks will be about.
So to me, I translated what he said as, yes, we want Juan Soto in the lineup in 2024, but if you're listening out there, other GMs, if you provide a solid pitching package and you want Juan Soto, we'll give it to you for the right price. That does it for today's recap. Let me know what you guys thought of today's video. I was about to leave to go get eggs because I'm going to make some deviled eggs for Thanksgiving and all that different stuff, and then this happened out of nowhere. So thankfully, I was able to record this in time. Let me know your thoughts and opinions, and I'll catch you in the next one.